Hello.
Hello, Ibu. Hi.
Selamat pagi, everyone.
Selamat pagi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me? Well,
Noise.
okay. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, for attending our press briefing. Basically, the main issue that I would like to touch upon today is maybe the issue that should be quite interesting for all of you and for all of us is the new vaccine against the coronavirus infection that has been registered by the Russian Federation. So first of all, let me give you the basic facts about the situation with the spread of coronavirus infection in Russia and the facts about the new vaccine against COVID-19. So as for today in Russia, we have 966,000 cases, and those who recovered, as for today, they are 779,000 people. So in the whole, we have less than 200,000 people who are infected in the active phase. The death rate so far has been 16,000 people. And as for yesterday, we had 0 death cases. Of course, the spread of the coronavirus infection in Russia is under control, but we cannot say that it has stopped. The cases are still, the number of cases still going up in quite a slow ratio, but still, so of course, we understand that there is the need of vaccine, and not only in Russia, but in so many other countries in the world, including Indonesia. So what is this Russian vaccine? As you know, it is called Sputnik V or Sputnik 5, after the space vessel that went into space. We were one of the first countries to start the space activities. This vaccine was developed by the Gamaleya National Research Center of Epidemiology and Microbiology, which has over 20 years history of vector vaccines development and has successfully created effective vaccines against Ebola virus and MERS virus, the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. This research center is one of the world's leading research institution. It was founded in 1891, and is named after a very famous Russian academic. As I mentioned, the center created the world's first Ebola virus vaccine, and a MERS vaccine is currently under advanced stages of clinical trials, and both vaccines are based on the human adenovirus vector platform used for Sputnik 5. The center runs one of the world's only virus collection and has its own vaccine production facility. So this vaccine has been also created in collaboration with the Russian Direct Investment Fund, which is the main sponsor of this project. This is a sovereign wealth fund of Russia established in 2011. The Russian Direct Investment Fund has played a key role in fighting COVID-19 in Russia. The fund has selected and funded most promising testing system, COVID-19 Smart M, drug, Afivavir, and now the vaccine. It is supporting the development of vaccines Sputnik 5. The fund has the exclusive license for the sale and manufacture of Sputnik 5 vaccine in international markets. So, of course, I'm no expert in microbiology or vaccines, but I have the information that was given to us by the Gamaleya Center and the Russian Direct Investment Fund, and it says that the Sputnik 5 or any adenovirus vector vaccine contains a sequence coding S protein, a protective antigen for SARS-CoV-2 viral infection. A vector vaccine is based on the adenovirus that partially imitates a viral infection process. By penetrating inside the body's cell, it causes an extended expression of the antigen, forming both of a high titer of antibodies and a cell-mediated response. The technology for manufacturing of vector vaccines based on adenoviruses is well developed. There are, there are a lot of speculations on how Russia managed to develop this vaccine so quickly. So the answer is there, because the technology for manufacturing the vector vaccines, the adenovirus vaccines, is well developed and has been known for many years already. So the Sputnik 5 vaccine is done in 2 shots. The second one is done on the 21st day from the first shot. And 2 components represent 2 different vector serotypes, AD26 and AD5. Combination of different vector types allows to form long-lasting immunity. The company Johnson & Johnson followed this approach with the focus on AD26, which is the only one of 2 vectors used by the Gamaleya National Research Center of Epidemiology and Microbiology. So, this vaccine is based on 2 vectors of adenovirus infection, and that's makes it unique. And the vaccine does not contain live human adenoviruses, but contain human adenovirus vectors that cannot multiply in the body and are completely safe. The vaccine induces strong response forming antigen-specific cells of both population of T lymphocytes. They are responsible for the immune response. It has elicited IgG response in 100 immunized participants, and it means that titers are significantly higher than titers of COVID-19 convalescents. So, to sum it up, Sputnik 5 is the first registered COVID-19 vaccine. Sputnik 5 is based on a breakthrough idea of the unique combination of 2 vector types that allow to form long-lasting immunity. This approach, therefore, has a clear advantage over the 1 vector technology used by other pharmaceutical companies. Human adenovirus vector was tested on 10,000s of people worldwide. It has a long history of approved and registered vaccines and drugs, including cancer therapy drugs. Human adenovirus vaccines are proven to have no long-term health risk, including no risk of cancer and no risk of affecting fertility. Sputnik 5 vaccine does not contain live human adenoviruses, but contains human adenoviruses vectors that cannot multiply in the body and are completely safe. Human adenoviral vectors are used in the development of vaccines against coronavirus by the world's leading pharmaceutical companies. At the same time, their vaccines are single vector, while Russian vaccine is double vector. The 3rd phase of clinical trials is expected to start next week, and we expect that 44,000 people will be exposed to the trials Sputnik 5 worldwide. countries with over 50% of world population have expressed interest in Sputnik 5 vaccination. And we expect over 1 billion people to be vaccinated by Sputnik 5 in the years to come. If you're interested in how the trials have been done, so I will give you some facts about that. The first stage is the preclinical study. It's done on mice, hamsters, and macaque. No adverse drug event was observed in vaccinated animals. The phase or the stage number 1 and 2, it's non-randomized open label 2-stage study in parallel assignment. We had 76 healthy volunteers of both sexes. The age group was from 18 to 60. The study duration was the first participant screening June 17th this year, completion of the 28th day of observation July 20, and completion of the 42nd day of observation August 3rd. So the results, no serious adverse events, and induces strong immune response in 100% of the participants, and there is no scientific evidence of any side effects associated with the vaccine. And finally, phase 3, multi-center clinical trials. We hope that they will, as I told you, start next week in several countries. So it will be a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, multi-central clinical trial in parallel assignment of the efficiency and safety of the vaccine. And a number of subjects, 44,000 people, age group 18 to 60. So the countries so far that we expect the trials to be conducted could be Russia, of course, the Philippines, the Arab Emirates, Egypt, Brazil, India, and other countries. So this is the main facts that I would like to present to you today. And talking about our cooperation with Indonesia in this area, as you know, our 2 presidents agreed to have cooperation in the area of preventing the spread and fighting against COVID-19 during their telephone conversation that they had on April 13th. And there were also contacts between our 2 ministries of health as a result of this understanding. The Russian Direct Investment Fund is ready to cooperate with Indonesia basically in 3 directions. First of all, it's of course the sale and distribution of the vaccine when all the clinical trials are completed. We are also ready to have clinical trials in Indonesia, because of course it will facilitate the registration of the vaccine in the country. And we're also ready to manufacture at least some of the components of the vaccine in Indonesia. So these are the proposals of the Russian Direct Investment Fund. And hopefully we will have the response from our Indonesian friends and partners. So that's the basic information that I wanted to present to you today about the coronavirus and the possibility of cooperation between our 2 countries in this area. And I would be happy to answer to your questions on this issue or any other issues that are interesting for you. Thank you. Please. So we have the first question, well, of course, about the Sukhoi situation. So the question is the Sukhoi situation, will the Sukhoi situation affect the other business relationship between our two countries? Well, first of all, I'm still optimistic that the Sukhoi deal will go through because it is in the interest of both countries to do so. If the deal is not completed or postponed or not done in any other way, I wouldn't say that it could affect directly the business, trade, investment relations between our two countries. But of course, you know, this kind of deals, they speak about, they tell or they certify the level of trust between the two countries. But I'm still optimistic about that. So the next question is there any cooperation between Russia and Indonesia regarding coronavirus vaccine? Is possible for, sorry, so sorry, the previous one. Yeah. Is it possible for Indonesia to get access from Russia's vaccine too? Russia's coronavirus vaccine is endowed by some countries, including WHO. How Russia respond to this? Well, I think that in my presentation, I gave you all the information about that Russia is ready to cooperate with Indonesia regarding the vaccine, and there are already some contacts established between the Russia Direct Investment Fund, who is the main distributor and who will be the main distributor of the vaccine. Hopefully this cooperation will develop and we can either after the vaccine is certified distribute this vaccine in Indonesia or have clinical trials, or we produce some of the components of the vaccine in Indonesia. I also would like to mention that the price, the final price of the vaccine will be considerably lower for Sputnik 5 than any other vaccine in the world, according to our estimates, like double or triple less expensive. Well, I think I gave you all the information about the, how this vaccine was developed and why we managed to, the reasons why we managed to do it so quickly. Because it is based on the results and the vaccines that we already have and that we have already used. This platform was already there. It was just, as I understand, to adapt this platform, already existing virus platform, to the new coronavirus infection. That is one of the reasons why it has been developed so quickly. How about the updates regarding the purchase of Sukhoi 35 jet bought by Indonesia from Russia? No updates yet, but the contacts on this issue are still going on. I'm Natalia, now I'm working with Australian Financial Review. There is no response from Indonesia government partners on vaccine development cooperation. There is some response, but it's just on the initial level. Some of the companies in Indonesia have already showed interest, and also the Ministry of Health of Indonesia is involved. But I can tell you that our proposals came not so long ago, so we need some time still to develop this kind of interaction. Will Russia start the travel corridor arrangement with Indonesia since Russia planning to open the international flight? Well, so far, Russia has opened international flight only to 4 countries. It is Turkey, Great Britain, Switzerland, and Tanzania. So what countries will be opened for international air flights, other countries, we will see. It will depend on how the situation both in Russia and these countries will develop. What we hear from Moscow, that there are plans to extend the number of these countries, maybe not yet with Indonesia. But what we're proposing now to of course, for official delegation for diplomats and people who have service passports to be able, well, we already give this permission for them to travel to Russia visa-free. So if you're a holder of a diplomatic or a service passport from Indonesia, you can come to Russia visa-free. Of course, our tourists would like to come to Bali, of course, which is so popular among Russians, but we're waiting for the decisions by Indonesia government. Any specific cooperation between Russia's pharmaceuticals companies with Indonesian local companies, just like Sinovac and G4 Healthcare? I think I already answered your question. We're just on the initial level of discussing the ways that we can interact and have cooperation. I would also like to stress once again that the sole distributor of the vaccine in our country is the Russian Fund for Direct Investment. So they are very interested in coming to Indonesia. So now we are establishing contacts with the companies and with the government agency to do so. Yeah, I think I've already answered this question. Indonesia is keen to have essential business travel corridor with many countries. Is there any discussion on that? Well, not yet with Russia. I just told you about that, just for holders of diplomatic and service passports, for official delegation, for spouses of Russian citizens, actually also for students. We're discussing on how Indonesian students who are supposed to study in Russia can come to Russia. So just for a restricted number of people, not yet for all, unfortunately. How Russia responds to the WHO declaring any approval of a COVID-19 vaccine candidate will require rigorous review of safety data. Well, of course, all the vaccines should be safe. And as I told you, we are quite sure that the Russian vaccine, which is developed on the platform of anti-adenovirus infection, is quite safe. So we are sure that we will pass successfully any review of safety of this vaccine. I would also like to mention that actually we have a long history of developing vaccines, not only in Russia, but in the Soviet Union. We have very wide national programs of vaccination of our population, especially children. So we have quite extended and good experience in this area. Is there an estimation as to when Indonesia will respond to Russia's proposal? Well, we have already some of the responses. We just need to work up on that. Is Russia planning to offer this vaccine to in Indonesia. Yes, as I said, we are ready to work together with Indonesia but of course it will need to be certified by Indonesia. So it's up to our Indonesian partners to decide what kind of cooperation they would like to have with us, either to just buy and distribute the vaccine, or to conduct clinical trials, or to manufacture some of the components of this vaccine. When will Russia plan to open its border for Indonesian tourists? Should people who are going to Russia, for example, be vaccinated with Sputnik 5? Well, it is still too early to tell. As for now, we are not opening our borders to tourists from any countries, with the exception of the 4 countries that I mentioned: Turkey, Great Britain, Tanzania, and Switzerland. All the others would be either diplomats or official delegation, or members of families of Russian citizens. So it will all depend on the situation with the coronavirus, either both in Russia and in Indonesia. Of course, we would be happy if it ends as soon as possible and we are back to the maybe new normal, but still normal. It's too early to say about what will be the requirements about the vaccination with Sputnik 5. As for now, what we expect, there will be no compulsory vaccination, with only those who want would be vaccinated. Our government suggests that the first receivers of this vaccine would be medical staff and teachers in high schools, because we expect our academic year to start in the 1st of September. But the process will be totally voluntary, no compulsory vaccination. Okay, next question. About the Russian COVID-19 vaccine, can you explain more about this? Has it been successfully tested on humans? Yes, it has been tested on humans, as I said, on the 2nd phase of the clinical trials. I'll give you the number 1 again. It has been tested on 79 people, age from 18 to 60. This vaccine is not suitable for children below the age of 18 or people over 60, because additional clinical trials should be conducted on this on people of this age range. So this is only from 18 to 60. Also, as I told you already, will be starting the 3rd phase of the clinical trials with the participation of people from different countries. We expect to have 44,000 people to be vaccinated to participate in this trial. Okay, about the Sukhoi, I don't have any new information on that. Regarding the demonstration demanding the resignation of the Belarus president, what is Belarusian president? What is Russia's comment on this? First of all, I would like to say that we see Belarus as our brothers, Belarus people as our brothers. We are very close with our Belarusian friends. And we are of the view that they have all the possibilities to settle all their domestic issues by themselves. It is very important that this issue in the domestic situation in Belarusia should not be politicized and should not be influenced from outside, because we've seen what happened with Ukraine when there were external interference in this country domestic affairs. We have this firm position that they should settle all their domestic issues by themselves without any interference from outside. Russia is going to implement e-visas in the early January for a number of countries. Are there any possibilities that this pandemic situation would delay such plan? I think a lot will really depend on how the pandemic develops. We have already implemented e-visas for people from any country that wish to go to St. Petersburg and Vladivostok. There is a possibility to have a visa. I cannot tell you for sure, for 100% how it will work, but when the pandemic ends, I'm sure that the e-visas will start to work. But of course, it's very convenient for everyone. Okay, I think that's all for the questions. Do you have any more? Well, if not, thank you so much. And I'll be going to Russia next week, and I'll be back in October. So after I'm back in October, I hope we will meet again, either through video conference or in person. And I will tell you about all the new developments on the vaccine in Russia. Thank you very much for your attention, and please take care and stay healthy. Bye-bye.